Is this in the way here? Should I move this? Can you hear me?
I think everything looks fine, Kathy.
Yes.
Okay, you don't see this window here, you're sharing your computer or something, audio. Should I turn this off?
No, it was fine how you have it. We don't see the windows.
Okay. All right, so I just want to give a brief overview, and since I have quite a bit to say, I'm going to jump right in. Now, I'm a big fan of understanding your roots, so I figured I should first explain some of why the NOPP happened. So in the 30s and 40s, advancements in submarine technologies post-World War II really underscored the need to know more about oceans, in part because there was little understood as we were trying to become a little stronger as a naval advantage. So this set as a national priority, it set ocean research and technologies in the forefront. And as a result of this, the Navy began to put enormous investments for seed money to create these oceanographic programs at major academic institutions. And some of those outcomes resulted in the JOIDES program, the Joint Oceanographic Institutions for deep earth sampling, which ended up to be our deep sea drilling program. But among the notions that came out of this was how effective partnerships can be, because as many of us know, vessel time is very important. The skills, the technologies, the instruments, all of that can be very expensive to handle on your own. This effort also pushed the United States as an ocean science leader. So in the next couple of decades, ocean science research community through these institutions did an amazing job at incorporating other scientific fields to further the technological advancements in understanding marine systems. And one of the important outcomes of this was that our scientific capacities increased tremendously and were, in a sense, underutilized. Now, some of us might remember those early 90s where fiscal support was really waning, and at the same time we were understanding that our marine resources were in trouble. There were coastal pressures that we didn't know how to deal with, and the role of oceans became increasingly important in our understanding climate change. So as a result of this, then there was a focused need on creating some kind of a system in which to mitigate the fact that there was declining money, but yet increasing importance in terms of environmental questions and not just military dominance anymore. So this sparked the interest of partnering as a solution, and as a result, basically, of all of that, in 1997, the Defense Act established the NOPP. And let's look at this law quickly. So if you download this, if you look at the law as it's written in the public records, you can find a little note. And this, to me, is broken up in three separate sections, and apparently was used to justify why there should be the effort made to create a mandate for partnering. So one of them, I'm not going to read this word for word, but essentially that oceans and coasts are valuable resource, that these are also apparently an important driver for regional climate, which also, as we know, affects other aspects, agriculture, fishing, and severe weather events, droughts, and flooding, and so on. Then they outline the socio-political realities that went along with that, which is that continued research is essential, and given the U.S. leadership in this arena already established through previous decades, this needs to be maintained. And also that research happens within all of these various institutions, and despite these different institution types, they all have similar requirements for research, facilities, data, and so on. And so the necessary response then was that we really need a formal mechanism in order to coordinate existing partnerships and establish new ones. So if we take a look at the law itself, it's Chapter 665, and it essentially establishes the National Oceanographic Partnership Program as well as the Program Office. It also established the National Ocean Research Leadership Council, which, as we know, is now the National Ocean Council. And it created the Ocean Research Advisory Panel, which is a federal advisory committee under the Federal Advisory Committee Act. So there were two main goals. One is to promote national goals of assuring security and economic development and protecting our quality of life, as well as strengthening education and communication. And the second one was that coordination should happen, and these would strengthen oceanographic efforts by finding partnerships between all of these various industries and trying to find ways in which to share data, resources, and promote education and communication, as well as reporting the activities to Congress. Now, if we look at the structure of how NOPP fits within our governing bodies, we can see that there's the National Ocean Council, which was once the National Ocean Leadership and Research, all these alphabets. I've been swimming in alphabet soup since I've gotten here, so please forgive me. But there's the ORAP, the Ocean Research Advisory Panel, and the NOPP Steering Committee. And then we have the interagency policy committees, one dealing with management, ocean management, the other with science and technology. And this body here is essentially populated by the same people. And this is how it's connected to the National Science and Technology Council. So this SOS has several working groups. I think there's 8 or 9, something like that. And 2 of them that are in the interest of NOPP is the IWG Interagency Working Group Ocean Partnerships and the Interagency Working Group Facilities and Infrastructure, which is essentially our toys, right? So if we look at the Interagency Working Group on Ocean Partnerships, or the IWG-OP, it's populated by representatives from all of these agencies, and again, I'm still trying to make sure that these are all included, because I suppose there's a little bit of shifting on this front. Oh, sorry about that. And it essentially provides a forum for incubation of interagency collaboration. So the IWG-OP is where agencies can coordinate on creating NOPP projects. So there's 4 main goals, and I'm not going to read them, but if you see that little brochure there, if you download the presentation, I've hyperlinked where you can read this brochure in full about the IWG-OP. So these are just some of its goals: to build on NOPP success, provide a forum of discussion, and so on. Not much different from what I've been saying. To foster partnerships necessary to support action in the National Ocean Policy Implementation Plan, and to promote coordinated ocean planning. Now, the reason I have these highlighted is that these are aspects that we're working at the NOPP office very hard on that we're researching right now. So this is to improve partnering flexibilities among federal agencies, developing more effective mechanisms to leverage resources, and importantly, in resolving obstacles and disincentives to partnerships, both within and outside of the federal family. And this certainly is a challenge that is among the focus of the IWG-OP co-chairs, and to catalyze scientific research on critical and emergent issues as well. So if you're interested in reading more, you can hopefully click on this and download the document, as well as see some of the other documents that NOPP has published in the past. So the NOPP Program Office, as I said, was also established through the NOPP law. It's competitively established, so it's not a .gov, that's why we're a .org. It's in close coordination with IWG-OP, and its funding is provided through ONR. Now, some of the duties are to establish and oversee activities of interagency working groups, Excuse me, to advise council on maybe upcoming or emergent issues. That's one of the reasons why outreach and education are among our primary goals. It provides administrative coordination and support for our 3 bodies. Excuse me. And it manages the process of proposing partnershiping projects, including managing peer review processes. We write an annual report to Congress. I'm sorry. And we have several other duties as well. Excuse me. So what are the benefits of partnering? So they can address critical national priorities